Freeway, freeway, or hit the mother freeway, or hit the freeway. Upward. Rest in peace, Tyler Girth. Into the street. Out of your house and into the street. Out of your house and into the street. Breonna Taylor. I've not seen Reinhardt yet, but doesn't discount that he might be here. Freeway, let me tell you about. Freeway, or hit the mother freeway. Hey, how you doing? I saw it, I just haven't had a chance to reply.
What's up later?
You bet, good to see you though.
What's the police? We need to be going to park here. Let's wake them up. Wake them up. Wake the police up. They already know.
Okay, folks, if you're just joining us, the protests are starting to head down. Looks like back towards the church. They're definitely in the area of the church right now. It is, what time is it? Can't see what time it is, but it is approaching 9 o'clock. So everyone is returning to the area of the church, the sanctuary, from Jefferson Square and Justice Square downtown, to congregate. It's been 2 nights of very peaceful protest, so thanks for joining us, and we'll see what's going on in town.
No justice! No sleep! No justice! No sleep! No justice! No sleep! Freeway! 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! Freeway! Freeway! Freeway!
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Freeway! 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 Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor!
So if you weren't with us last night, pretty much the group, once they returned to the church down there, the Unitarian Church, I think it's on 4th and Broadway, next to the Louisville Free Public Library. Once they got back there, they basically stayed put. There were a few rabble-rousers trying to motivate the crowd to get back out and march, probably around 11:40, 11:30, 11:45. A few people did branch out, probably 2 or 3 dozen, and headed south towards Breckenridge Lane, where they discharged some fireworks, set up some trash fires, a few small wooden barricades. One of the vehicles that had some fireworks thrown into it did light on fire, so the police did come. The fire department extinguished it, and that prompted a federal investigation into arson that culminated with an investigation by the ATF, the Department of Homeland Security, and the FBI, according to the word on the street and the police liaison. The LMPD did turn on their live cams last night, and we were able to see some of the diplomacy going on between the protesters and police, who were probably around midnight or 1 o'clock, asking to basically be given free passage out of the church and back home, and they were denied any sort of special protection. The crowd did slowly disperse out over the course of the evening, kind of trickled out over the course of a couple of hours, and it went down from several hundred people, maybe 500 to 1,000, somewhere in there, down to less than 100 by about 1 o'clock. So that's what we're picking up tonight. They did not do a night march last night, so they did not do a night march. So we'll see if they stay in the church tonight. Right now they're off the property. It does look like a significantly smaller crowd tonight. I don't know if we're just seeing a portion of it, but this I would say is a fourth the size of the crowd from last night. But there's also another initiative going on across town, and there are other churches that have opened doors. So it's not completely necessary for everyone to congregate at this one church anymore. So it's possible that the crowd is just being split into a few different locations. Also, starting tonight at Seidenfaden's, they are doing basically a black-owned bar hop around town, frequenting and buying beer and liquor at black-owned businesses. I don't know how that works with curfew, or if that's already over. I'm not sure. But anyway, they are at the church now. They just have not gone onto the sanctuary property. I'm assuming because it's not quite 9 o'clock and there's no police presence. So we'll see. They're chanting the name of Tyler Girth, a protester that was shot and killed at Injustice Square about a month and a half ago.
We got fellas to vote too because of what brochure passed that law. We got women also a lot of stuff for all fellas. So we got fellas, please reach out to somebody. You guys can vote too. So that's what the problem is. They lock us up. Period. get a right no more to vote. Why? You already did the time. Your voice still matters, no matter what you did. No matter what you did. Somebody knows if you do the crime, you're going to do the time. Period. In the same fucking place. We don't finally come together. When it comes to the people, we can
thought everyone left.
I'm not no organizer, I'm not no leader. But I appreciate everybody coming out. Freeway, like I said, we're going to keep this going. But we're about to put some shit up. But I'm tired of watching in the same fucking place. We're going to finally come together with all the organizers. But like I said, I've been telling everybody the same one. I'm not an organizer, I'm not no leader. But I've stepped into my destiny. But like I said, the first one was God's plan for me. I've been doing a lot of research. I'm 31. I don't have to do no research on shit. By the time like this, leaders will step up out of anywhere. Especially if it's named college. I'm still probably going to run for something. I just don't know yet. But I have to switch my whole life around.
It's this right here, to the right.
But I know people is the key
Yeah, I mean, it'll all be
to this nation.
it'll be demonstrated.
It's the power of the people, like real talk. It's because of us. They are still in office. I wish they still had these big brother programs when I was growing up. Telling people about credit, about education, and about these laws. Because everything around us is changing, except for two things in this whole fucking nation. Excuse my language. It's the justice system and this education system. They both failed us. I said they both failed us.
All right, bear with us for a minute, everyone. Trying to find a bike. We'll get right back to everything after we find
the
a
change is
bike.
right now, right here, today. But we about to switch some stuff up here in Louisville. Because this bunch of stuff is, for what? I'm tired.
Yeah?
I lost a lot of weight.
Oh,
Real
look at
talk. I'm going to 42, and I'm down to 36. So won't he do it? Won't he do it? But this is change.
Yeah, they
This
were like
is
right
history.
there.
This is history. For all of us. It's supposed to be the last night, but we...
You're not gonna go back?
Have a little fun. Yesterday...
There you could hear all of the emergency alarms going off for the 9 o'clock curfew now in effect in the emergency broadcasting system.
At first, I was just coming to taking over because I wanted to done the right way. I ain't gonna stunt, I did. But we came together with a good plan. And look around y'all right now. A lot of people is not out here for the right reason. They not. But everybody's history is different. And mine, hers, hers, and hers.
Wait, let me see your phone
So
for a second.
everybody just need to wake up. Because change will come. Change will come.
What are your messages?
The first change was, we couldn't even allow the vote. Why couldn't they not vote? They did the same thing and they got that shit checked. And we all doing this right now.
All right. Text me
As a
here.
nation. As a nation. Together.
In lieu of...
And that's how we got to make change.
That way I'll be able to actually
It's by
come.
sticking together. And loving one
I
another.
kind of pressed it and you're about to send
First thing is love.
I'm not sitting anywhere. This is it. All right, go, you're going back to the go back to Unity.
That I didn't have before I started coming down here every damn day. I love y'all. We're gonna keep marching. seconds, but we're going to do it together as one.
So again, seeing sort of the same pattern that we've been seeing the past two nights, congregating at the church at 9 o'clock, the words of love, and typically now some food, and then I guess the fellowship, more or less. So we'll see what the plan is tonight. But so far, this crowd has proven to be set the example nationally and around the world as to how to honor someone's memory and also be making effective change. If the world would follow in this sort of footsteps, who knows what the narrative would be right now. But let's see what happens. The night is still young.
Please bear with me for a minute, everyone. This is Louisville, Kentucky. It's a lovely city. Temperature is calm, quiet, slightly cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
I also know that it's the volume's kind of low. Can't really do much all the way across the street, so.
A couple of things I heard in the speech earlier that was being given when they arrived at the church. One of the things they were reminded of was that there are a lot of people out there that are not there for the right reasons. Again, essentially telling them to set the example.
It's awfully low.
Also telling them to maintain love. So, definitely a change in temperature here.
There's a very interesting moment today when on my headphones I was listening to the song I Can't Give Up Now by Mary Mary. And after the song was over, I had to use my phone for other reasons, so couldn't listen to it again on the phone, but I said to myself, man, I want to hear that song again. Woo! And then, in the distance, of course, much like 2 days ago when Jamie asked for Lean On Me, Mary Mary, I Can't Give Up Now started playing on someone's Bluetooth speaker half a block down the road. It's an interesting moment. I'll be saying, okay, next, I'd like to win the
Do me
lottery.
a favor, guys. If you haven't already followed and liked Lumos Media on Facebook, make sure you go do that. That way you'll know when we go live at other protests. Also, we traveled all the way over here from Pittsburgh, so if you can even spare $1, all of our donation links are in the description. We have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. I'm not saying you have to, but if you could, that'd be greatly appreciated. Hotels and gas aren't cheap.
Oh. Look at that.
That was Lumos Media up there in the top left corner. Check them out on Facebook. Subscribe if you want to catch up. They do stuff nationally. Also, Maxwell Mitchell is on Facebook. Be sure to follow him if you're trying to keep up. I won't be doing this every single night, so those are the sources there. Riot Heart, another one. He's taking a night off and he's bar hopping to black-owned businesses. We will get the LMPD cams too. Good place to follow also if you want to get some behind the shields footage, which can be very interesting to see the other side of what's going on, especially the arrest. But
How are you?
not much going on right now. Very quiet.
Thank you. There it is.
Yes, we got all the facts of what happened that night. We can't get no justice for
Charles Aaron Broussard. 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 Charles Aaron Broussard.
We want a refund. We've been paying taxes on everything. But y'all keep marching with us. Y'all keep standing with us. We're going to bring them out by the thousands again. We ain't wasting our time. We got you. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Right down here. It's not a moment. We will not stop. One last time. Ain't no power like the power of the people. Let the people don't stop.
Yes, everyone, just please continue bearing with me. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming.
My streams go down.
You know, this is day 4 of what I've been calling a series whole series called Post-Verdict, Post-Decision. And, yesterday, just my opinion, the day with the most volume, the most amount of numbers, the most amount of bodies down there. Maybe the largest march I've seen since the early days, week 1. It's very interesting. It's powerful watching all those people.
Yes. Hey.
Indeed.
Love you.
I hear sirens in the distance. Of course, I don't know why.
I'm not really sure what people are doing, guys. There's like a lot of people have left. If you look over here, a lot of people have already left. There's not like a whole lot of people, so I'm not sure if they're going to go out and protest on their own, but as you can see over there, there's like people already leaving. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So yeah, Lumos Media over there observing what we're observing here. There is not much activity, at least not centralized activity. There are a number of different sanctuaries tonight and other events going on. I think it's just, I don't know what happened in there last night. I haven't seen any videos from last night inside of the church. But definitely seeing a completely different scene here tonight. And it does look like the crowd has now dwindled down to 25, 30 people. Probably only a quarter of what I was looking at earlier about an hour ago or 30 minutes ago. They are definitely dispersing. Don't know what that means. Could be going home. There could be other plans. But if the last few nights are any indication, I would say that that they're probably dispersing. I don't think there'll be much noise tonight, but we'll see, because there are rabble rousers in town. We saw some last night. They were able to shear some of that larger crowd away, and we don't know. There was quite a lot of turmoil last night. Not in the streets or anything, but in the crowd itself. Between it looked like two divisions of what to do. Some were wanting to peacefully congregate and talk and basically stump, and then others wanting to take to the streets, some motorcycles, firecrackers, and all that. And most of the crowd decided to remain at the church. So again, different change of pace here.
Actually, I don't know. Here we go. Dan? Mark? Alright, bear with me everyone. I think I made a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Okay.
Is it just me, or is that walk sign really annoying, that noise?
Yes, no, Lumos Media, that is not just you.
Okay,
Yeah, there's like a lot of people dispersed.
we've made it.
So you just saw the backside of the church.
I'm going to explain in just a second, but
Maybe not.
we made it.
Guys, I'm going to show you over here and show you what the church is.
Curious where old Maxwell Mitchell's taking us right now. Like I said, there was a beer hop going on. Maybe that's where he's gone. Who knows? I guess he's going to explain. This is at Seidenfaden's. Okay, I know where they are. He's on Breckenridge and Vine.
Hey, you got a second?
Yeah, if you look straight ahead under the moon there, that pair of headlights, that used to be my old house.
You got a second?
Right there.
You got a second?
If you want to be, we told the crowd at the church that we were not.
So the rumors are true. They are basically bar hopping all night to black-owned businesses.
Not a whole lot
And the
of
guy
people,
that
not
owns
as many people
Seidenfaden,
as
a
last
gentleman
night.
by the name of Alex, a
Also,
wonderful
You
gentleman.
guys look up there.
I guess that's where they decided to start the evening.
Barely.
Maybe we'll see Alex here.
That was where they were throwing stuff from the other night.
So basically, what's happening right now is... Jason! I love this.
At all, but
Jason is Riot Heart, the fellow live streamer that to Maxwell that we feature here on the Protest Live.
Okay,
Let me set you guys down for a second.
so basically, in the most blunt way I can say it, just wanted to make sure everyone was safe over here and get over here with the other crowd, because I know there were people who were saying it's a small crowd tonight, but it's really not. It's like in the earlier days, in the middays or whatnot, where sometimes you would see a smaller march and equate that to the entirety of everything, but it's truly not. You know, things are happening everywhere. This movement is stretched out. It's not so much spread thin, but it's stretched out. And it is still strong.
So Maxwell Mitchell there, confirming my suspicion that this is just a switch up, a different change in strategy here, maybe decentralizing with all that police presence and National Guard and armored vehicles, splitting up the targets as you might put it. So yeah, drinking night on the town, folks.
That's what I believe. That's what I'm thinking. But this particular get-together was organized by someone. I don't know who exactly, but so I couldn't really say their point, their reason for, you know. I don't know what they're calling this another safe house or whatnot. I'm really not sure. I just knew there was a gathering here based on, and it's public. It's actually public. You can see posts about it on Facebook. I think I saw one called that simply said bar hopping. So I don't know if this is going to move to other locations. I'm actually going to head back to this, the Safe House on York and 4th now. And then I saw there are people here at this particular location. Hey. Say it again. All right. Okay. I'm just, am I doing anything? Okay. Am I coming back? Get out of here. I know, right? Because I was about to head to the other safe house. Were you just right by? All right, I'll be in touch, okay? All right. Hey. Interesting. I certainly will. How you doing there? All right. For nothing, no. My main goal, my main reason was to just simply check on people, see what was going on. I wanted to get there and, yeah, see if posts that I read online were factual or valid, and it turns out that they were. You know, over there we saw Jason Down and we saw Riot Hard. We saw a lot of friends that we normally see. It wasn't necessarily for nothing. There's not necessarily anything going on, like to raise an eyebrow or anything. Just to show that people are safe, people are happy, people are, yeah, safe, underline safe, and italicize it. Go ahead and make it bold as well. Put a nice hashtag next to it.
Guys, we're going to walk around the block of the church and see what else there is to see, because there's really nothing going on the church property that we can see. So we're going to walk around, go down this next intersection, and we're going to see if there's anything going on down there.
You're my hero, Tara. You're my hero. How you doing?
Keep going and see what goes on.
Actually, everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Shut this Facebook Live down. It was asked of me to come say hi to everyone.
So
I've done that, and now I'm gonna go be present with everyone down there. And I get the feeling I will be live again soon. We'll see you all soon, and if you don't do anything else, please stay live. I'm sure we'll be live again very soon. Thank you all so much.
So, folks, there you hear it from Maxwell. He's shutting down. Riot Heart is taking the evening off. Most of the protesters are not going home necessarily, but participating in some other fellowship activities, continuing a 3-night pattern now. Definitely growing as a group here socially. So we're going to take a break as well. I'll keep the stream going, but at this point it's only going to be the Wave 3 cam, which is like watching paint dry.
The entire parking lot was completely full.
I'll keep
Tonight, there's just a few
see what
people
he's
here.
saying.
So there's really not much else to show you guys. I mean, last night there were a bunch of people up in the building. Now there's only probably maybe 20 or 30 total people. So I think that we're definitely going to be calling it here. But if anything else happens, I'll go live again. But do me a favor, guys. Like I said, if you're not following this page, like and follow. And if you can even spare $1, our Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal are down in the description, because hotels and gas are really expensive. So, and we're traveling from Pittsburgh. So, that being the case, I think we're going to call it for tonight, guys. Have a good.
All right, so Lumos Media off there. So I think this is about it, folks. Again, that was Lumos Media, Lumos Media. You can find them on Facebook if you want to help them out. Do not try to respond to I don't accept donations on any of this. Check out Riot Heart's Facebook page for updates. Check out Maxwell Mitchell's Facebook page for updates. But I don't really expect anything's going to happen. I keep thinking of Riot Heart talking about riot porn, and definitely starving the city of that this weekend here in Louisville. Now, it has been crazy in Washington and some other places, but here, just a beautiful display. Very pleased, very proud of Louisville. Seeing something different. So good job, guys, everyone. Almost made me want to stop moving away from the city and start moving back a little bit. I'm just playing. All right, folks. I'm going to take a break. The stream on WDR Wave 3 will continue. If there's anything else I can see to put up, I'll put it on. But right now, in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will just take off the Louisville and give you riot porn for a little while to see if anything happens here in Louisville. But frankly, if you want to see what's going on, just head on down to Seidenfaden's there on Vine and Breckenridge and get some beer, because I'll tell you what, good people there. Rest in peace, Winko Bannon down there. Excellent gentleman that worked that bar that recently passed away. Louisville, you make me proud. You make me proud.
We're all good. Thank you, though. We appreciate the
Because we
offer.
have a
I saw the chick in there. Yeah, how about that?
It's not even just this. No, we've got
This is why I can't diet
three
here.
caterers who brought food
Wow.
today. So please eat some.
We appreciate that.
Go.
that's very generous. Thank you.
So here is the front of the church. Their Black Lives Matter banner there. And they're green for COVID. Heard the Reverend Cooley say there that they had several caterers deliver food as well for the protesters here at the church this evening.
The whole bus. Like, we have organizations that exist that meet different communities and that are also activists in nature and revolve around social justice issues. So yes, there is an activist culture, and there are folks that have been doing this stuff for years. The Kentucky Alliance, like I said, they've been here for 40 years. And
Actually, I'm not going to give you a riot porn. If you want that, just go somewhere else. So you just go to YouTube. There's
Actually
probably
has a
something going on.
historic marker over here, which I hadn't seen before.
I think we shall sleep as well.
This church was founded in 1830 and has been active in civil rights movements as well as community-wide initiatives. Several fires have damaged the church, including one in 1985, which left only the stone walls. Each time it has been rebuilt by the congregation and continues to support many civil rights issues. I wasn't aware of that. I had heard of the fire, didn't know about that. On January 12th, 1895, Susan B. Anthony and Carrie Chapman Catt spoke at First Unitarian Church. This was a stop on their southern tour promoting women's suffrage. Anthony's speech on gender equity and political action was given in the church's Sunday school room. 25 years later, women were granted the right to vote. So yeah, pretty rich history I wasn't aware of being active in the civil rights movement and women's suffrage for this church, First Unitarian. Great, how are you? And again, if you're unfamiliar, this church is just across York Street from the main branch Louisville Library. Right across the street there. Windows and doors now boarded up after it was hit by one vandal the other night as protesters marched through. Window broken on the east side and a flare thrown in. Yeah, like launching. Yeah, but it's Fox.
Yeah, it's very interestingly.
He's pulling me towards the food table.
Ah, smells the chicken inside, probably.
We'll see what happens. We live here. It's not a sprint. It's not a 5K. We're not going to stop. We're not going to give up. All right, good to see you all. Be safe, be well.
So I guess we have the 10 o'clock, and we should be good. So,
Okay.
for
Are we gonna
TV.
hang out afterwards? Yeah. Okay.
Let me park real quick.
Walk over this way a little bit. Probably go ahead and excuse me. I can go ahead and throw the mic on.
Okay.
You have a moment.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Sorry if the camera is shaky here for a minute. Got to get the microphone on. There we go. So just talking to a clergy member, he said that the church is kind of frustrated that LMPD moved in areas around the church 2 of the 4 nights that this church served as a refuge. And again, if you were tuned in a little earlier, I told you about how church kind of hinting that maybe a lawsuit will come after the activities here at First Unitarian over the past 4 days now. How are you? No sign of LMPD over here tonight. LMPD, meanwhile, on the first night where situation at the library happened, LMPD said it was only in the area to investigate that. And not to take action against the protesters who were gathered here at the church. That's what LMPD said on Thursday night. Good number of cars in the parking lot over here, which would seem to indicate that a number of protesters inside the church do plan to go home at some point. And again, if you're just tuning in, clergyman telling me that he didn't really want to call it an agreement. He said it was kind of a handshake agreement with LMPD and the church, nothing in writing, in other words, that says protesters will be given a 45-minute window to leave here between 11 and 11:45. So in just about an hour and 10 minutes or so, that window will begin. Again, some people kind of told me today that bulk of the protesters kind of tired after the events of last night. Hence the reason there weren't any big marches today or anything like that, any big protest actions. And there's at least one other church refuge here in the city that I know about on 2nd Street. Not really sure if there are any protesters there at that church. We didn't make it past that church on our walk over here. So not too sure. Just noticed some of the graffiti that was done on that garage building last night has already been painted over. I assume we're IFB1, I would imagine. Okay.
That's what I dialed in.
All right, I'll dial in on that one too. Go ahead and get dialed in here.
This, you find it doesn't fog up.
Oh, really?
Mask.
The other one does?
Yeah.
Probably the kind of goes vents out the bottom, right?
Yes, I'm going home, man.
Yes, sir.
Tired tonight.
For sure. You think that's kind of why there were no marches today, or just everyone's still tired after last night, or?
Probably a little bit, man. And it wasn't a big, large crowd today. It's actually a good thing it was a peaceful day. Was y'all marching with us?
Oh, I didn't see. Was there a march?
Yeah.
Oh, from the square here.
Yeah, constant by there, so
Gotcha.
we went by there, so
What do you think about curfew? Do you think they'll extend it, or do you think it's
today's the last night.
right for now?
What are you live?
I'm live. Yep. We'll see.
Yeah, tonight's the last night of the curfew. But they giving people till about 11:45.
11:45.
That's what they said.
Gotcha. Well, very good. Good to talk to you.
You too. Have a good night, man.
You too. You
See
too.
y'all sometime again.
Said, probably heard him there. Frequent protester said that I'm tired. I'm going home.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, I think I forgot to call in.
Did you hear that?
I didn't.
Oh, what? Said we're going on a little late this football. 6 after.
WDRB.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm
watching y'all
Good to
live.
see you.
from
Oh,
the
you are?
side. Yeah.
How about
I'm
that?
watching live. I watch y'all's live all the time. I got a question.
Sure.
So when are y'all gonna do a story about all of the races y'all have in y'all's comments?
I think it's I see some of the very hateful comments.
24/7. Every story y'all post, races, and every comments. on every story that y'all have on y'all's website, nothing but racist. When are y'all gonna do a story on that?
What do you? I mean, what would you say to those people who comment hurtful things?
That they have the wrong idea, that they don't know what's going on out here because they haven't been out here. They don't know what pain we're going through. They don't know we've been out here for 120 plus days getting attacked by people that we fucking pay to trust to protect us, and they're not protecting us. Corruption, Metro Council, the Attorney General. I mean, the list goes on. But I definitely had to come out here and say something about the racists in the comments. And they don't know what the hell's going on out here. They got the wrong idea.
Tell me about what you saw in there tonight in terms of just a protest here tonight.
Protest, everybody's tired. We're exhausted. I mean, exhausted from trying to get our word out. And the numbers died down tonight, but we're gonna be out here every day.
Not the end, in other words.
This is not the end. We're gonna be out here every day until we get justice. So I don't know what y'all can continue to say y'all's racist shit in the comments, but we're gonna be out here in these streets every fucking day.
They don't understand
That's our voice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Tell them at the DJ Ray Ray on Instagram session.
At the DJ Ray Ray's
DJ Ray Ray.
At the DJ Ray Ray, who we just talked to, and again, just feeling like that their voices aren't being heard and is tired of racism. What's that?
10 to the show.
10 to the show. Okay, I was getting dialed in here. There we go.
Where have you guys gone live in the past?
Just kind of wherever. We could go around to the front. I think the lighting is a little better over there.
That's why I was saying, because I can't see.
Yeah. Hold on. All right. Yeah, we can walk around to the front. Any sign of LMPD yet at this point? Oh.
Nope. I think all seems to be calm for the first time.
For sure.
A few months. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah. We did get a email verifying the 11 o'clock end of our service.
Oh, from
will be acknowledged. It was like an email that they sent to the police force saying that everybody has 45 minutes to get it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Talking to the clergyman again. He said no sign of police, but they did get an email acknowledging that LMPD is aware of the, as he called it, a verbal agreement or handshake understanding. For sure. WDRB.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quiet night. They scared everybody last night. Everybody, when they said they're gonna get a federal case, our people are gonna come back out. Because you should have realized, everybody realized, start a riot. It's gonna be a riot. You got everybody here. You think?
They don't want to be lumped in with, or
They don't want to be on upstairs. Just everybody's scared. When you put a charge on people, I say like Louisville ain't used to this.
mm-hmm.
We ain't Washington D.C. We ain't Washington
Sure.
D.C., New York.
Portland or something.
Portland is used to know how to ride. You don't know how to ride. But we know how right we'll do it right. Come on, you see, sure, you see a lot more stuff, but everybody is scared, got that scared mode, and they're scared to get locked up with that charge. That felony charge is a scary charge for anybody.
Sure.
And after they said that last night, a lot of people I knew a lot of people wasn't going to come out tonight because they were scared.
I'm Chad, by the way. Nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That's just how it is. Like people, if you put federal on there, everybody's scared. You doing the right thing still. But they're gonna drop it down anyway. How nonsense it is. If the mayor really, he should never put a curfew on people anyway. If you put a curfew on it, that's the only city I know you put a curfew on the whole city. You got other people going to work. Y'all leave work, they got bills. Y'all ain't gonna pay them the people y'all leaving early. You got people going to have to leave work, shut down work for over. The mayor put a curfew.
Well, you can still go to work during the curfew.
Yeah,
apparently.
some restaurants have to close down. Like if you work at a restaurant.
Oh, you mean like downtown or?
Like outskirts restaurants. Like you don't have to be downtown. Like
Okay.
on Eastern Parkway, no restaurants down there. They got to shut down early because it's 9 o'clock curfew. Because there was like outskirts people that want to do it. Like you got a lot of restaurants shut down early because of curfew. Like you put a curfew on grown people.
The police did that to my sunroof. Yeah. On June 15, they shot me up.
We grown, like you put a curfew on us. You ain't doing your job. You should have been doing your job.
No, you should see this side.
You should have did what you do. You should have fired them and put it on the city council. You ain't did your job. That's why everybody's upset.
Sure.
Come on, like what? You think you gonna get voted for the next 4 years? And that what 2022 or next?
22. Yep.
When you gonna get a? You think people ain't gonna vote for you no more?
felonies.
They ain't gonna remember that. Everybody gonna remember that. They're gonna not vote for you. Everybody on that city council, they're not gonna vote for you.
Sure.
Because everybody's gonna have a new job in 2020 because y'all wasn't doing that job in 2020. Everybody's gonna.
And some are on the ballot this year as well.
You know what I mean? Nobody ain't gonna vote for you because they ain't gonna vote for you. What y'all did? Y'all made this city was, come on, y'all did your job. The city go back where it was. You go downtown, you see everything boarded up. It's like, that's how it's gonna be.
Gotcha. Well, it's good to talk to you.
Never see the city boarded up like this. The whole time I've been here, I never saw the city boarded up.
Mm-hmm. We're going to go do a quick live shot, but we'll stop back by in a couple minutes. Thank you. Thank you. I figure we can go across the street so we're not in all the other stations' background. You tell me, Jordan, wherever you like. It's fine by me.
I know there's nobody over here. Is there? I know.
Wherever you like. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. Oh, yeah, the lighting is a little better.
And there's people.
Hey, hey.
We got a guy on the
Jordan Lamborn helping me out tonight. Yeah, we can do that. So the scene here remains quiet, peaceful, and protesters acknowledge that when coming up to me saying it's going to be quiet tonight. Everyone is tired. That's what he told me. Yeah. Just not the... were you over there when they were saying the facade is loose right there? Yeah. I see that they taped it off though. Kind of another view of the church from over here. It's kind of a metal spire. It was a pretty shot with the moon right there.
Oh yeah, people. You hear that?
Yep, I heard him. 4 minutes. Oh, you're fine. Never mind over communication. It's a blessing to have. Outside the church, I'd say about 20, maybe about 40 altogether, 50, something like that. So, yeah, we're going to do a live shot here on the 10 o'clock news here in just a couple minutes. So, it'll be a nice little recap of what we've seen so far if you've tuned in a little later. And Rod, feel free to just cue me in the ear, or I'm sorry, rap me in the ear whenever you'd like. Okay. Continue to see some more people filtering out of the church as if to go to their cars or bicycles. All right. Ah. All right, we're about a minute away from our live shot. Then we will kind of walk around again. guys here outside the church standing around. The consensus is tonight will be a quiet one for a couple of reasons. Number one, protesters are here at the church for the fourth night in a row, but there's a different understanding this time. Talking to one of the clergymen inside the church, he was telling us that they have come up with an agreement, so to speak, kind of nothing in writing, I should say, but an agreement with LMPD that protesters will be asked to leave the church tonight at 11 o'clock. They'll have a 45-minute window to do so from 11 to 11:45. And we're just standing around here, and it looks like many of the protesters kind of already taking the chance to walk to their cars or to their bicycles and take the rides home for the night. Now, the second reason it's also expected to be quieter tonight is the numbers weren't quite as strong today as they have been in the past couple of days. We were monitoring things out at Jefferson Square Park. There was a decent crowd, maybe 40, 50 people at times, but the park cleared out before curfew. Some of the people there showed up here at the church. Protesters just telling me they're tired after all of the marching over the past couple of days, after the ordeal at the church last night. A lot of them now wondering what happens next in terms of curfew. As the mayor announced a couple days ago, the curfew would be extended through the weekend. Well, the last night of curfew in that case is tonight. We will see if the mayor extends the curfew or not. A lot of the protesters were thinking that the mayor might be watching what happens tonight to make his decision. But again, here at the First Unitarian Church, quiet for now as we approach this 11 to 11:45 window where protesters will be asked to leave. Live here in Louisville, Chad Mills, WDRB News.
I don't like it. Can you not report to my car? It's not live.
Sorry. We were doing
I don't want my car to be, and I got a case going on
which
right now.
which car is yours?
Huh?
Which one?
Just any. I got a case going on now. I don't want.
Okay,
my car
yeah, no
to
problem,
be
no problem.
involved in
It's
none
cool.
of that, you know what I'm saying?
The car is
And I'm still,
right?
yeah, and I got a protest case.
I got you.
And I don't want nothing to mess my case. So I got 35 felonies.
It's not really in it. It's right here on the edge.
Seeing this live, you know what I'm saying? I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's not in it. But we'll try to keep it out of it.
Yeah, we're walking around to the other side anyway now.
So we won't
So.
stay in it.
So we're done with our 10 o'clock live shot. And we'll walk back around to the other side now to see how things are shaking out. A couple protesters, about a dozen on this side. Things are quieting down. Maybe try to grab an interview here with a clergy member, maybe Reverend Kyle or someone. Sorry to bother you again. Do you know if there might be someone who could do an interview with us on Facebook Live? Reverend Kyle or even yourself?
Yeah, Reverend Kyle's not here.
Okay.
I can do something real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Figured we might as well. Oh, that's fine. It's not, but we'll just stay kind of right here in the area. You want me to hold your mic as well, Jordan?
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you were just doing this.
Sorry, guys, just there.
Appreciate your help tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just for our producers looking later, could you just introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Eller. I'm the executive director of New Moral Majority and a member of the Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice faith group, as well as Interfaith Coalition for Immigrant Justice.
Gotcha. So, with how things have gone so far, can you kind of give us an assessment of the night so far?
Yeah, so tonight has been very peaceful, very community-oriented. I think a lot of people are tired from the week. We met a group of maybe 60 or 70 or more local community members at Breonna Square downtown. Had a little bit of a rally, a couple words of encouragement, and then a few clergy and I led a march here to a place where for the last few nights during the curfew, a number of protesters have been seeking sanctuary and safe space and being together. So tonight we mostly had food that churches from around the region have brought here, and snacks and drinks so that people could rest, go inside for prayer, discernment, community building, and that's what it's been. I think it's been pretty low key this evening, and folks got a short march in and are just recuperating and readying themselves for whatever next strategic steps need to be taken in the March for Justice.
So there was kind of like a spoken agreement with LMPD tonight. Can you give us some details about what that is?
Well, we got a copy of an email that had been negotiated by some of the black women that have been leading this movement for justice here in the community for some time, that had been speaking with police officers. As many people know, 2 of the last 3 nights, this church has been surrounded by police officers. And for a number of hours, last night for 3.5 hours, we were not able to come or go. So it's been quite the issue. We held a press conference here 2 nights ago, and another press conference over at Reverend Snarden's church, AME church on Broadway today, declaring that the sanctuary needed to be protected, but more than that, that the curfew was unconstitutional, not only because it limited free speech of citizens who are demanding justice, but for us, fundamentally, it's a violation of the First Amendment's religious liberty clauses, with individuals coming to and from a worship service. And we have been unable to do that, to come freely to and from our worship services. And so that was the negotiation, basically, is that they wanted to know when we would be willing to end our worship service this evening. Someone told them, I think, 11 o'clock. And so it was stated that anyone, I believe the email went out to the police department, if I'm not mistaken, that anyone who is coming from that worship service at 11 o'clock, has about 45 minutes to get to their home and won't be detained by police if they share with them that they were coming. And so that's what we've been told. We don't know if that will be honored. We pray that it will be honored. We don't think that the curfew is constitutional in and of itself, but are thankful to have that communication finally from the police department where they're telling us that people will not be arrested once they leave the service. And that is, I think, a good thing to be communicating openly.
I've seen the question asked out there in the comment sections and whatnot. Were there actually services going on?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing that I'll say is we have a very diverse community, and we have a diverse community of faith leaders who each worship in their own way. That's one of the great things about America and the freedom of religion is that the Quakers worship very differently than I do as a Baptist, and the Quakers worship in silence. People pray differently. We've had Muslim people, Jewish people, agnostic people, Unitarians, Baptists, evangelical. We've had every different type of religious folk out, and we're trying to provide space for them all to be able to practice their religion. But what I probably should have said much shorter is, yes, of course we've had worship service. I've given a word and a prayer every single night. Last night, we thought we would only be gathering for an hour or so and getting people food and then on their way. That service lasted about 3.5 hours of people giving testimony, sharing their stories, talking about what gives them hope, talking about what vision they have for our community. Once we can build this community in a more just, equal way, what that vision would be. And then we had communion. You know, a lot of folks may not think that eating together and sharing communion is worship, but in my tradition, which is a Christian tradition, that is a form of worship. And so we've been doing that as well, and we're blessed to have the community feeding people.
Do you think a legal challenge is brewing here on First Amendment?
I do. I think it's almost inevitable now that that challenge will be made. I think it would have been made alone on the fact that the police department was not honoring even the mayor's own request, which was that we open houses of worship. He said this is a time when houses of worship should be open. That's what we did. And then we were told people can't come and go from the church without threat of arrest. We were told that then again in writing in the curfew itself, which said that people can come to and from houses of worship that are in service. And so we had services, and yet once again people were surrounding this church, hundreds of officers with heavily armed guns pointed at us as we tried to leave worship. And then on constitutional grounds, a curfew in and of itself can provide space, I think, personally, for people to still have free exercise of their rights. But all of the places that our community has set up for that to happen, for community members to be able to express their anger, their frustration, for them to express to elected officials what solutions they would like to see, have all been closed. And a matter of fact, even the courthouse has been closed. So even if we have cases for justice that we need to bring to the court of law, we can't bring those in the same manner that we could bring them before. All of those have been closed and boarded up. And then we're told, come open up your houses of worship, which we do, and we open up the houses of worship, and we're mistreated even in the house of worship, and told folks, don't be peaceful, because as soon as you're peaceful in this house of worship and you start to leave, you may get arrested for breaking curfew. So yes, I think on constitutional grounds, I would find it very surprising if the denominational groups that are now involved, the legal groups that are now involved, don't end up actually filing a lawsuit against the city, and that's sad. I hate to see that, because at the end of the day, this didn't need to happen. We didn't need to have a curfew of this kind. We didn't need to violate people's rights. If we had created spaces where people could express their anger and find solutions together without ramping up Department of Homeland Security and National Guard following us home and following us everywhere we walk, it didn't need to happen. And so if a lawsuit is what's required to make it stop, then we'll go that avenue. But I hope tomorrow, and I do pray that the mayor's office will make the decision to end the curfew and let people have avenues to not only express frustration, but avenues to bring about a new vision for this community that's being born, so that we can finally have some justice. There are some very simple, fundamental things that the mayor and the police can do to move us in that direction. There are things Daniel Cameron has failed to do to move us in that direction. We don't want to have to provide sanctuary for everybody, but we respond as people of faith and as faith leaders to a higher authority, and we will provide sanctuary if people need it.
I know part of LMPD's final question, I know part of LMPD's hesitation with last night is they worried that some of the few people who did commit arson may have been harboring themselves inside the church. What do you make of that suggestion when people bring up that?
Well, I think it's as absurd to me as the suggestion that the police had a few nights ago when they surrounded the church, that Representative Attica Scott and her daughter and Shamika Parrish Wright, one of the leaders here in town, would have done some damage to the library. I mean, that is, for anyone who knows those two women who are pillars in our community, they know that that's not a true accusation. And so I don't know who set the fire. I don't know where it was set. What I do know is that our churches and faith traditions have been providing sanctuary for people since World War II. We provided sanctuary for people that were Jewish, fleeing violence in World War II. We provided sanctuary, some of us, our churches and church traditions, for people in the Underground Railroad. In the last 3 decades, we've provided people seeking refuge from violence who are immigrants and refugees and asylees throughout this country. And we'll continue to provide refuge if we need to, because that's what we're called to do as people of faith. And so, I don't know who did that. I find it suspicious. But even so, if someone did commit an act of arson, I think that's sad and unfortunate. And those people, of course, ought to be dealt with in whatever way is the justice way of dealing with that. But to keep us here for 3.5 hours, claiming that you are doing a simple arson investigation, and then telling our clergy that you can't guarantee that you're not going to try and storm a house of worship, which is what they were told. They were told by some officers that they were seeking a warrant to enter a house of worship in service because of an arson that happened blocks away. And that's why they had us surrounded and weren't letting us leave. Hundreds of people leave. I find that to be just highly questionable at best.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, man. You too, man.
So there you heard it, folks. The Reverend...
That
here we go.
Was the director of some interfaith groups, one of the clergy members. 1 second, I'm going to do some more walking around. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
I can tell you the truth if you want. If you want to go over there, that's more silent.
Sure.
And the only reason why I'm doing it is because that guy was not being honest. I don't care what.
Well, yeah, let me just do it with this mic.
So what do you think? That guy was not being honest at all, because he's talking about, they call themselves Unitarians, right? Which I talked to the first guy who said it was his church, and it made sense to me. But then this guy who you're just interviewing comes up, and he says, oh, well, all this other stuff. I'm like, wait, hold on. You said that Black Lives Matter, that you didn't necessarily believe in that. This was just a sanctuary. But you can show them all the fists up that say Black Lives Matter here, the communist symbols, Now, they had a banner on the front that just says the letters and the word Black Lives Matter, okay? When you come in, there's jail support where he's saying, well, you're letting people come in here and because they committed arson down the street, right? That's what he's saying about the cops. He's saying that the cops are coming in here with these fake warrants, these fake concerns. Dude, there's literally a sign that says
Not sure what's happening here. Hold on.
there's jail support right there, right there. You can show him if you want. There's like 3 signs that say jail support. And he's going to stand right there next to the jail support sign and tell you a blatant lie like that. Decided to have all these people come in here when he doesn't know a single one of them. And then when the police are trying to figure out what's going on, he's going to say, oh, well, the police are just bullying us. No, dude, it is not that straightforward, and you know it. You cannot have these black fists up in the air and then say, oh, you're not really for Black Lives Matter, when you were just standing there talking about how strongly you were for Black Lives Matter. So you're not neutral. We're talking about how there's injustice and how you need justice and how things need to change, all these things need to change. You lied. You lied right to the camera. You didn't tell me the same thing when I was standing in there. So I'm really disappointed, honestly.
Have you seen peaceful protests here tonight, though?
I have not been here during the march that happened. I was here last night. It was peaceful from what I saw because me and a few other black people stood in between Black Lives Matter and the police to where if they wanted to, you know, throw stuff at them or smack them or punch them, they'd have to go through us first. But I do give them credit for the fact that I didn't see any property damage. I didn't see them physically attack anyone else. But they did say that they were planning on attacking police officers when curfew came. The good thing is they decided not to attack police officers when the curfew finally was announced at 9 p.m. last night. I think the same thing happened tonight from what I've been talking to people. There was no violence. I don't even think there was an arrest tonight, but I haven't talked to enough people about the arrests. Last night I believe there was a few arrests. Yeah, but this isn't right. These guys are making money off of this. I'm literally convinced that it's about clout at this point because he went on your stream and he's trying to hop onto the historical train of Breonna Taylor and the Black Lives Matter movement to get more members and to get more sponsorship and donations. That's what it seems like.
The church does have a civil rights history. Do you see any merit at all in what they're doing?
No, because here's the thing. If it was like what happened to Martin Luther King, or if I was just standing here and someone shot me in the head and they happen to be a police officer, then absolutely, this makes total sense. But Breonna Taylor, it's not the same thing. She was not asleep in her bed. She was wide awake. She's knee-deep in drug trafficking. Her boyfriend fired the first shot at police officers, but they're not going to be honest and tell that in the media. But that is the truth, and that's why we're going on the internet, and thousands and millions of people are saying it over and over because the media won't say that, but it's true. There's even a dead body found in a car that was rented in her name, you know, just recently. So it's like, okay, so she's an innocent person, but her family lied about her being an EMT. She was fired in 2017. They lied about her being innocent. There's a dead body found literally in the car rented in her name. They lied about her not being involved in crime. She was involved in crime. They lied about her being murdered by the police. She wasn't murdered by police. She was caught in the crossfire that her boyfriend initiated.
Do you see why people are upset at her death, though?
Yeah, because here's the thing. The Black Lives Matter movement, it's not black people who came up with the idea of burning stuff down. It's not everyday people who came up with the idea of burning stuff down and rioting and burning down America. No, it's all the celebrities and blue checkmark black people who gave black people the idea to burn stuff down. Because think about it, for decades and decades and decades, our entire lifetime, we have never dealt with this rioting. We never dealt with entire cities being attacked and burned down. Then all of a sudden, all the celebrities, all the famous people say, burn it down, go out, get angry, we'll pay for your bail. That's an agenda. That has nothing to do with justice, and you should wake up to that fact. Because things like what happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor happens all of the time. Then all of a sudden becomes such a big issue. There's no way you can actually be that fucking stupid. There's no way. You have to have some type of anger inside, some type of hatred to want to go along and play with that false narrative with these lies. And that's what I'm seeing here when they threatened the media just the other night. All 12 of the media was lined up, MSNBC, CNN, and a few independent journalists, and Black Lives Matter goes up to him and says, we're going to mess you up. We're going to mess with you. We're going to beat your ass if you record our potential standoff with the police. And when I pull out my phone to try to catch that right there, where Black Lives Matter doesn't want the truth to be shown, they also threaten me and say, if you pull out that phone, you're done. You're not going to make it home tonight.
Where did that happen at?
That happened last night at the park, at the, I'm not sure if I'd say mural, but you know the big display with Breonna Taylor's face and all the signs? That happened. You can ask the journalists about it. And I taught the journalists, I'm like, pull out the cameras, I'll protect you guys, I'll have your back, but you have to show the truth if the standoff happens, if there's actually a fight, because Black Lives Matter is armed to the teeth with guns and rifles. And they're really mad. They're saying we're going to shoot police officers, and there weren't any voices saying not to do that. It was either leave if you don't want to go to jail, or stay here if you don't mind going to jail. And I'm just like, shit's really about to hit the fan. And there's no leadership. It's a headless movement here in Louisville and everywhere else. And the only people who are leaders and organizers are angry people who say burn it down, especially in Portland. I stopped my name's Philip Anderson.
And you were from Texas?
I'm from Texas, yeah. I'm not, but I had to come here to make sure that the violence ends and people don't get shot anymore. For example, I went to Portland, right, in front of 5,000 people. 5,000 people, Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And I yell at them, stop burning down the courthouse. And every last person stops, except for 5 people who are yelling at me, get out of here, while calling me all these racial slurs. Those 5 people were the leaders and organizers of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, those chapters in Portland, because these people are being manipulated. You can talk to them about the Breonna Taylor case, and guess what? People are going to get so mad and confused, and they're going to call you a liar when you give them the facts about Breonna, about George Floyd, about Ahmaud Arbery, about Rayshard Brooks, and they're going to attack you the very second that you tell them the truth. Why? Because they've been told to be mad. They've been told this is the absolute truth, and you better never dare tell people the real facts. And that's what's happening right now. It's manipulation. We have to wake up to it.
Well, she wasn't, I don't think she was fired. She was not fired.
Yeah, she was. She lost her EMT thing.
She was never EMT, she was an ERT. What next?
All right, what's the next question?
Where you from?
Texas.
What up, Texas. So
you know
so
what's
you
happening
coming all the
before you
way up
speaking
here
on
for
it?
this?
Yeah.
This is what
No,
you
I'm
coming
getting
up here
along
to
with
do.
y'all just fine. I'm saying
So
last night
so
I
what
should
you
make sure
here
there's no
for,
violence.
though? What you here for?
I'm here to end the anger and the violence.
Let me
'cause
tell
that's
you
what
what's
it is.
going to happen.
Sir,
let me
You're
tell
not
you what's
gonna
going to
do it.
happen.
Nothing, bro.
What's going to happen?
You talking to the wrong people.
What's going to
I wasn't even talking
happen?
to you. I was talking to him.
It don't matter.
If
You
you're
in the
talking
wrong
about
place.
us,
That's what I'm telling you.
They said it's a sanctuary
When
for
we
anyone.
have a lot of
That's
people,
what they said. It's their church. It's their church.
when we're having a lot of people coming from different states into our city
Yeah.
to specifically cause trouble, you're going to have violence. Because you have people like us that have to protect Louisville natives, no matter what. We have
appreciate
Louisville
that.
natives that want to fuck this city up. Let's be very clear.
Okay.
But we're not allowing them to do that either. So
Okay.
there will be violence. There's going to be violence. Anytime you have a group full of black people, normally there's some type of argument or fight that happens.
But I'm not
'Cause that's-
coming
that's
after
just
y'all.
how
I'm coming
we
after
work.
the
What's your motive,
organization
though? What's
and
your
the
motive?
movement.
Every organ, we
Because
are
I
the
believe
movement,
it's leading
sir.
people to do bad things.
What is your
We are the
Was
movement.
it your idea?
People are going to do bad things to mess up our movement. That's what you don't understand. This movement is peaceful. This movement is about Breonna Taylor and how they have dog walked us. Okay?
Okay.
So don't say that the movement is violent. No. Everything that comes around the movement is violent.
Okay.
That part of it.
All right.
And we will protect our people, but what you cannot do as a black man is literally discredit black people.
I'm not discrediting black people. I'm
Starting with
discrediting
Brianna.
the
The
movement.
movement. Absolutely you are.
The movement
That's
was
the
not your
movement.
idea. Someone else
The-
came up with
no,
that.
the movement came
not?
when a
Whose
black
idea
woman
was
was
it?
killed.
Whose idea was it?
Disrespectful
Saying
right
Black
now.
Whose
Lives
idea
Matter
was it?
organization.
Black
We're
Lives
not Black
Matter.
Lives
Whose
Matter.
idea was
it?
Black Lives
We're not
Matter.
Black Lives
That don't
Matter.
got nothing to do with
By the way,
this. We don't do Black Lives
You're
Matter.
saying that if someone does something bad, then it doesn't involve BLM. You can't just do
Listen,
that. We have such a
BLM,
huge
listen,
movement.
take your mindset out BLM. We don't
more
fool with
people out here.
BLM.
Ain't no
The
Black Lives
organization.
Matter right here.
When we scream Black Lives Matter, we're not screaming about the organization. We're screaming about the fact that Black lives matter.
That's
You don't see Black Lives Matter, any organizers getting on that podium downtown at 6th and Jefferson because we don't fool with them.
Not at all. We already ran them up.
They got up through there.
Louisville
We
doesn't
can't
have
worry
an
about them.
organized Black
But you
Lives
have to
Matter.
realize that when you're
They
yelling,
got Black Lives Matter in Louisville.
you have
It's not
So once you ask that and it's not registered.
Hold on.
It's just
Hold
somebody
on.
that jumped on the
Hold on.
bandwagon
I have a response
of
to
this
that, though.
movement.
Hey, bro, just
So,
don't
yeah.
speak on
But here's
something
the
you
thing.
don't got places to speak
Okay,
on,
but
bro.
I disagree. and y'all have to honor that I disagree.
Wrong. No, we can't disagree with a black man.
Wrong. You didn't came all the way from fucking Texas and you don't even know what the fuck you talking about. You a black man and you sitting on here talking about Breonna Taylor was fired from her EMT job.
So you just said that you're yelling Black Lives Matter, right? But who gave you that idea? Who gave the idea to say, yell her name, say her name, say his name? That was Black Lives Matter.
Excuse me.
Wrong.
It don't even matter, though. It don't even matter.
She was just because we say Breonna Taylor.
It don't matter. That don't make up for the fact she shouldn't have been killed.
So
all that you talking don't
just
even
because
matter,
somebody
man.
comes over and says,
It don't matter. Nah, they fucked up.
That means
they fucked up. Understand that. They fucked up. Ain't nothing else to just discuss after that. Nah, they fucked up.
But it's not okay for you as a black man
they fucked up.
to
It's the fact why they pay him.
I'm not well, you're saying you're not Black Lives Matter. They're not even discrediting you. I'm not even talking about you then.
You're talking about
that was your intentions. That was
you
your
intentions.
fucking walking
We don't like Black Lives Matter, and yet we're not going to discredit black people.
Okay, I'm not discrediting anyone here. I don't even know you. I haven't even met you.
You should have stopped and talked to somebody before you
told me that you're not Black Lives Matter.
You should have
So you're
stopped
saying
and
I'm not
talked
even
to
talking
somebody.
about
You should have stopped and talked to somebody.
Here's the deal.
You should have got educated.
Do everybody a solid. If you want to do your interviews about Black Lives Matter and discrediting this movement, and we are the face of this movement, just do us a solid and go over there.
Black man.
That you're not.
Black man.
We're
You just
not.
told me that you're
This
not.
movement, we are.
But
We
before you
spent
knew
4
that we
months
wasn't, you was calling us that to the cameras. Before you knew we
This
wasn't.
is the idea. This is the idea. Because you're a black man and you are against your people. So if you want to do an interview with WDRB, we fool with Chad. So it's okay.
What you here for?
But just go that way. Because the moment that WDRB posts you on their page, discrediting
Saying
black
what the fuck you
people,
saying?
then we don't like them.
Yeah,
So you're saying I'm discrediting myself?
Talking to him like he's
Us.
one of us. He's not
You're
one of
not
us.
one of us.
So,
It's a difference between
yeah, y'all do the
being
interview over
physically
there. He's
black
not
and
part of
mentally
us.
black.
You
You're
know
not
what I mean?
mentally
Like,
black. So go that way.
We ain't talking
Just go
none of
that
the way
way.
he's talking.
Just go that way.
Ain't nobody
It says the
about
sanctuary. Anyone can come in.
pieces what they say to
By the
you
way,
people.
Black Lives Matter is not just black people. It's black, white, Hispanic, everyone who
You don't
believes
get
in
it.
it.
Wrong. Bye. If you don't get it, you no. Why are we
You on
talking
that
to
mess,
him anymore?
You're still on the organization.
That's not true. Then why is there
Hey,
white people?
Do
Why
me a
is there white
favor.
people
If
are
you're
with
not
you?
one of us,
Take your
why you
long
over
ass,
here,
long
man?
sleeve shirt
We
ass
don't
cup
wanna hear
street.
that. We don't want to hear that. That's what I'm saying. You starting trouble, man. You starting trouble, dude. You starting.
The video interrupted there. Things are getting a little heated. One gentleman was interviewed without any trouble, and then this gentleman has an opposing opinion, and it appears that a mob is forming around him. I'm not sure why. Everything that all parties have been saying have made some sort of sense, but at this point it seems like things are getting escalated, and they're saying that he is starting trouble, but I'm not sure. It might be the reverse. Not sure if how the live stream was cut. Hopefully everyone's okay. But we don't have another feed on the situation down here. I will look for one.
If you're not one of us,
take your long sleeve shirt ass across the street.
We don't want to hear it. That's what I'm saying. You starting trouble, man. You starting trouble, dude. You starting.
So it looks like we've lost our only feed into there. I will leave it sitting here reloading. Hopefully it'll pick back up. I'll try to find some more feeds.
Physically black and mentally black. You're not mentally black. So go that way.
So they have cut the stream, apparently. Not sure what happened there. Unfortunately, WDRB not the best at staying in the action, as we have learned the past few nights. As soon as the news starts breaking, they go away. So, unfortunate. But right now, everybody else is pretty much partying again at the church. There's not many people down there. Mainly people are out in smaller congregations around town. There's a big bar hop going on around tonight. Basically drinking at different black-owned businesses and bars, and as well as a number of other churches and congregations of protest as well as fellowship. Not anything I'm aware in terms of the city right now coming in. The city is quiet, except for here at the moment at the church there on at the Unitarian Church on 4th and Broadway, where an altercation was beginning between one gentleman and a crowd of people that has come around because I guess they did not agree with what he was saying, and they seem to have been getting more agitated and trying to kick him off of the sanctuary property because of his opposing viewpoints that did not align with their own. And it was looking like it might escalate towards the point where they might even become violent, but we will not know at this point until the news comes out tomorrow or a new stream begins. So I think I'm gonna have to cut this stream. We have no other feeds for the night, unless you just want to sit there and look at the Wave 3. We'll check one more time, see if they have refreshed a new stream at this point. Not looking like it. Yep, not looking like it, folks. So this is the Colonel here with GTTV. We might be back tomorrow with another stream. There will definitely be a recap coming for all that we've seen over the weekend. So everyone stay safe out there. Everyone try to respect each other, show love. This is the Colonel. Good night.